G'day everyone, it's Sam, and welcome to Yoga for Men, Volume 2. Like I mentioned in the first volume, if you're not a man, don't worry, you won't explode if you make your way through this practice. It's just my way of trying to rope in as many men as possible because sometimes they need a little more encouragement to get onto the yoga mat. You won't need any props for today's practice. It's going to be a little quicker than last week's practice, aiming for around 25 to 30 minutes. So when you're ready, jump on the mat and we'll get right into it. So the Yoga for Men series is aimed at playing to the strengths that men sometimes have coming to the yoga practice, but also trying to hit some of those problem areas. So with strength, we're talking about arms and shoulder strength, pressing, pushing, stability, and those problem areas we're thinking things like hamstring length and external rotation and opening through the hips. So we'll try and get through as much of that as possible. We're going to start down on the back. Catching hold of the ankles, just popping those feet underneath your knees, about hip width distance apart, and then coming down, laying flat. You want to feel as much length of your low back grounded. If you feel this strong arching in the lumbar spine, you can press your shoulder blades down into the earth, lift your bottom up off the mat, tuck the tailbone under, and then lower the spine back down. Then from here, if we can, take the arms up and overhead, let the back of the hands rest on the earth. So you're finding a nice natural opening through the chest here and some flexion through the shoulders. I'm just going to be here and breathe for a few moments. Just preparing yourself for the work to come, allowing yourself to get acclimated onto the mat and into your body. Let's take 3 breaths in through the nose. Sighing out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Letting go of any apprehension or any stress or any tension you may be holding on to. We'll take one last breath here. Open the mouth, let it go. Nice one. From here, extend the arms up and back behind you. So take a deeper stretch through the side bodies. And we'll take our right hand, catch hold of our left wrist. Start to gently pull that left arm up and overhead and start to bend off towards the right hand side. So you're getting a little deeper opening through the left hand side of the body. You'll feel your right side obliques start to contract slightly. And really breathe as though you are sending your breath into your left side lung. Take an inhale. Stay as you breathe out. We'll slowly come back to center and swap to the other side. So your left hand will catch hold of your right wrist. We'll gently pull the arm first on the inhale. And the exhale will start to bend off towards the left hand side. If you have more space, you can even walk your left arm a little more towards the forearm, or you can stay down on the wrist, whatever works for you. We're breathing deep into that right side lung. So take an inhale. Open the mouth. Let it go. And gently come back to center. Take the elbows down alongside the body. And then push down through your elbows and your feet. Tuck the tailbone under. Start to lift your hips and pull your shoulder blades back towards each other. So imagine you were trying to clamp the outside of the hips, but there was a force field, so there's space between the outside of the hips, but the arms are still active, drawing in towards each other. The inner thighs are active and hugging in towards each other as well. Now feel your glutes firm, your navel pull in, and see if you can tuck those shins a little more underneath you as you press the front of the thighs and the hips straight up towards the sky. Take an inhale. And the exhale will gently lower down until you can barely feel your tailbone touch the mat. And then we'll press straight back up. So inhale, the hips rise all the way up. Squeeze the glutes, pull the belly in. Exhale, we lower down. One more like that, full inhale, lift those hips up nice and high. Exhale, we lower down. So rolling down until you hit the tailbone. We'll shuffle the feet just one step further out in front of us. So now the feet are a little bit in front of the knees. Slide your hands down the length of your thighs. Pull your chin to chest. Take an inhale. On the exhale, we crunch up until we feel our elbows graze over our kneecaps. That's one. We're going to do 10 of those. Slowly lower down. We'll keep the chin to chest. Pause on the inhale. Exhale, we crunch for 2. Lower. Inhale. Exhale, crunch for 3. Lower on inhale this time. Exhale for 4. And just starting to wake up the core a little bit here. Inhale, we lower. Exhale for 5, we lift. See if you can try and keep those feet grounded flat. Inhale, we lower. Exhale for 6. Just finishing off your final 4 here. 7. You can start to pick up the pace just a little bit for 8. For 9. And on the last one, we'll come all the way up to a seat. Excellent. From here, we're just going to sit the hips back towards the heels, keeping the toes tucked under for a moment, and then separating the knees just a little bit wider, and walking the arms out in front of you. We're going to push the hips back, hover the knees up and off the mat, but keep your heels floating for a moment. We're going to start to lean a little more weight into the right foot, so you're getting a deeper flexion through your right ankle joint, a deeper stretch through the bottom of the foot. Can pop up onto the left fingertips or even lift the left arm off the mat here. Take a breath. And on the exhale, we swap over. Ground the left hand. If it's lifted, start to lean a little more weight into the left foot. Maybe you pop up onto the right fingertips or even reach the right arm up and off the mat. So waking up the back of the legs, and by lifting that opposite arm, you're also going to get that stretch down the side body as well. So while the right arm is lifted, I'm feeling a deeper stretch through the right side of my body here. Take a breath. Exhale, we swap. Right hand down, lean onto the right foot, lift the left arm up and off the mat. This time we spin and twist and gaze up under the left armpit. So a little bit of a twist, deeper side body opening. Inhale. Exhale, we swap. Gaze under that right armpit, look up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Then one more either side. Exhale, we swap. Inhale. Exhale, we swap. Last one. Nice one. Now, by the time we come back to center, you may have a little more space. You can walk the hands back, lower the heels down, and come to malasana or yogi squat. Now, last week we worked on preparing for this pose because it can be quite troublesome getting into it with that external rotation and compression in the hips. So if you're still at the point where your heels are lifting up and off the mat, then just stay right there. We want to feel the chest opening, so rest the elbows on top of the knees, pull the shoulder blades back towards each other, let your palms face up. Just find a few breaths here. If you are a little more comfortable in the malasana, see if the weight can lean a little more to your heels, maybe the toes lift up and off the mat. We're going to be working towards some more active entries and exits into the malasana. So if it feels comfortable for you, I encourage you to shuffle your feet out just a little wider, getting more external rotation through those hips. Just going to be here for 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Lift that chest a little higher. Crown of the head reaches to ceiling. 2 more breaths. Last one, pull those shoulder blades back, draw the navel in, inhale. Exhale, we let it go. So Good. We'll come on to hands and knees, untuck the toes, bash the top of the feet against the earth for a moment, and start to find some natural movement through the spine and the wrists here. So turn your hands out ever so slightly, so the index fingers point towards either top corner of your mat. Push away from the floor, find a little bit of that protraction through the shoulder blades, and just start to roll some weight forward through the wrist joint, taking the shoulders over the wrists, and then taking the shoulders back behind. Gripping the mat with fingertips, pulling fingertips back towards the palms. Feel free to move in any way that feels comfortable for you. So each time you hit the mat, it's going to be different. Some days you might want to hang out with hips all the way back to heels, shifting from side to side. Some days you might want to lean those shoulders forward and really get into the wrist there. Feel free to introduce your cow-cat movements as well. It's just a time and a space for you to really start to connect with your breathing and your body. So you're going to move in a way that feels really, really good for you in this moment, on this day, right now. So not worrying about how you felt last time you practiced or how you may want to feel, but really honoring how it is you're feeling right this second and moving in a way that's going to benefit that. Nice one. Slowly make our way back to center. Keep those biceps wrapping forward. Going to shuffle those knees back just a touch. Move the chest forward. Take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bend the elbows, lower the chest down towards the floor. So we're taking some baby push-ups first. As the chest lowers, the elbows hug in, and then we push to press straight back up. That's one. We're going to do 5. So lower and lift. So think of this like a chaturanga push-up, meaning biceps wrapping forward, elbows are grazing past the rib cage as we lower and lift. That's 3. Lower down nice and slow, press through the base of the thumb. That's 4. Last one. Lower all the way down. Lift, 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 lift. Tuck the toes, elevate the knees, hug the glutes in, push the heels back, send the chest forward. Take an inhale. Same thing again, we lower and lift for 5, 4, 3, you got it, triceps are firing, for 2, and 1. After we come up to that plank, send your hips up and back, find downward facing dog. I'm not going to lie to you, the gym's reopened just 2 days ago, and my chest and my triceps were really feeling it through those push-ups, but that's part of the fun, right? Bend the knees, lift the heels, guide the hips up and back, push through the base of the thumb there, really wiggle that tailbone up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Open the mouth, we'll let it go. Then inhale, reach the right leg up and back behind you. We're going to roll that hip open and start to bend into the right knee. Still pushing evenly through both hands, drawing navel to spine, squeezing right heel towards the left glute. Take a full breath. And on the exhale, lift that left heel nice and high, look forward. We're going to land the right heel just outside the right hand. Boom. And then ground down the front of the foot, pop up under the fingertips. Inhale, lean the chest forward, come deep into your lunge. Then on the exhale, send the hips back, straighten through the right leg. Option to lift the right toes up and off the mat, getting deeper into the back line of that right leg. Nice one. Then we reset. The inhale will take us forward to the lunge, hips drop, chest pulls forward. Exhale, we send the hips back, both legs are straight, option to lift the toes. And that's 2, we go for 3 more. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hips up and back. 2 more. You got it. Waking up the arms, waking up the fingers, waking up the legs as well in the process. Last one. So good. From here, rebend that front knee, come to your lunge, ground the right foot down. The right foot stays where it is, chest keeps pulling forward. We take a hop off the left foot, land the left foot outside the left hand, and lower down into your malasana. Once you get there, lift the chest, bring the palms together at heart, stand up nice and tall, drive through your heels. We're going to slowly come all the way up to stand. So if this seems familiar to you, it's adapted from one of my favorite styles of yoga to practice, and that's the Awakening Yoga series created by Patrick Beach and Carling Harps. So if you're familiar with them, you'll know this sequence quite well, all these variations. But if you don't, I'll tag them in the comments below and tag a video you can watch as well. So the feet are nice and wide. We're in a Tadasana, but we've taken a longer stance here with the toes turning out just a little. Bring your palms together. Take a breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Then inhale, reach your arms all the way up towards the sky. Look towards those thumbs. And on the exhale, we're going to sit straight back down to the Malasana. So bring the palms through the heart. Exhale, sit your hips all the way down. Nice one. Then inhale, hands to floor. Come to a halfway lift. So straighten through the legs. Then left foot's going to stay where it is. Pick up the right leg, take it all the way back. You are in the lunge. So we're coming to that same lunge we were on the opposite side. The inhale will bring the chest forward, sit deeper in the hips. Exhale, guide the hips back, straighten through the left leg. Option to lift the left toes up and off the mat. Inhale, rebend the knee in the lunge. Exhale, hips back, straighten the leg. Adjust your hands or feet as you feel necessary. 3 more, moving with your breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hips back. Feel free to close your eyes if it feels really, really good. Last one. And after your 5th and final, we rebend that left knee, come to the lunge. This time, ground the palms down flat. Push into the earth, round through the upper back. See if you can, just hover the left foot up and off the mat without the left knee touching the back of the left arm. For 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Step the left leg back to plank. Wiggle those feet back so the heels are stacked above the balls of the feet. We're going to get a little more active here. So from here, drop your left forearm down to the earth. Roll onto the outside edge of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top. Push into that left forearm. Start to reach the right arm up towards the sky. So we're in a forearm Vashisthasana, or side plank. Press down through the outside edge of that left foot. Lift the hips a little higher. Spin that right pinky finger towards the front of the mat. Extend the arm up and overhead. So really feeling the left side rib cage spin up to the ceiling. The navel, draw to spine, the glutes firm. If you feel a little unstable, you can stack the right foot in front of the left rather than on top. We're going to be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Left arm stays where it is. Hug the right elbow in alongside the body. The right arm's going to come to Chaturanga. So roll onto the toes, press that right hand down underneath the right elbow. So left arm's in that forearm plank, right arm's in the Chaturanga. A little unstable. Keep the shoulders and chest square to the front of the room. We're here for 5, 4, for 3, 2, on 1. Push through both hands. Lift the left elbow, straighten the right arm. Shuffle the feet out just a little wider. Left hand is a ways in front of the left shoulder. We're going to pull the navel in towards the spine. Reach the right arm out in front of us. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Right hand under right shoulder, left hand under left shoulder. Wrap the biceps forward, make our way through 5 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back to downward facing dog. Wow, upper body is feeling it. I hope you are as well. Take an inhale. Let it out. And then inhale, reach that left leg up and back behind us. Roll that hip open. Start to bend into your knee. Keep the shoulders and chest square to the front of the room. The opening's happening from the pelvis. So left hip's lifting higher than right, but shoulders and chest are square to the front of the room. Take an inhale. As we exhale, right heel lifts. Look forward. Left heel will land outside the left hand first. And soften the toes down. Come onto the fingertips. So it's the second round. We're going to move a little bit quicker here. So inhale to the lunge, drop the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, hips up and back. Go for 4 more. So a little more dynamic in your movement now, a little more fluid. 2 more. Last one. We come back to the lunge, left foot stays, hop off the right foot next to the right hand. Sit deep in your squat, bring palms together at heart, take a breath in. Exhale, press all the way up to stand. Take 1 breath here, ground down through your feet, pull your shoulder blades back. Open the mouth, let it go. Then inhale, reach your arms forwards and up. Exhale, sit straight back down into your squat. Keep the knees moving away from one another. On the inhale, find a halfway lift, fingertips to earth, straighten through the legs, keep the chest moving forward. And then right foot stays where it is. Pick up the left leg, step it back and come to your lunge. Drop those hips, pull the shoulders back, move the chest forward, inhale. Exhale, hips up and back. 4 more like that, inhale forwards. Exhale back. Moving to the rhythm of your own breathing. If you're moving faster or slower than me, please honor your own breath pattern rather than mine. What's working for me may very well not work for you. This is a personal practice, after all. Nice one. After you've made your way through the 5, come back to your lunge. Ground those palms down flat. Push to round through the upper and middle back. Hover the right foot up off the mat without the right leg touching the right arm for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Come back to your plank pose. We're going to lower the right forearm down to the mat. Roll off onto the outside edge of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top. Then spin the right hip up towards the ceiling, the right rib cage up towards the ceiling. What I mean by that is rather than butt starting to press back behind you, we wrap the right side of the body up and under towards the ceiling. Flex the feet, lift those hips up nice and high. If you're taking it further, we spin that left pinky finger to the front of the room and reach the arm up and overhead. Maybe even gazing up under the left armpit for a little more of a challenge. We're here for 5, 4, for 3, 2, on 1. Right arm stays where it is. Left arm comes to chaturanga, so hug the elbow in towards the body. Roll onto the toes. Set the left hand down underneath the left elbow. Square off through the shoulders. Push through that right forearm. We're here for 5. 4, pull the belly in. 3, press those heels back. 2, move the chest forward. On 1, press through both hands. Straighten and lift the elbows. Nice work. If you feel a little bit unstable, you can shuffle the feet a little bit wider. Right hand's going to stay where it is. We're going to reach the left arm out in front of us. Just for 5, 4, for 3, 2, on 1. Left hand under left shoulder, right hand under right shoulder. You guessed it. This is the last time. We go for 5 more push-ups. Take a breath in. Exhale, we go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back up. Make your way to downward facing dog. Once we get there, drop the knees. Untuck the toes. Send the hips all the way back towards the heels. Upper body is certainly feeling it. Interlace those hands behind the back. Roll the shoulder blades down the back, lift the chest. If you can hear in your bind, we're going to work to take the palms to press together. And then once they do, you bend the elbows. Let both hands rest just above your left hip. Then start to hug the left elbow in towards the side of the body. Move your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Releasing through the right side of the neck, the right side arm. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it go. Bring the head back to center first. Take your fists, rest them above your right hip. Hug the right elbow in, move the right ear over towards the right shoulder. So the effort and the work is important. It's also important to take a moment every now and then to come back to your breathing. You know, you can work hard and physically exert yourself till the cows come home, but if you're not breathing along the way, you're not serving the purpose of connecting to your body and to your mind and to your breath. So we inhale together. Exhale through the nose this time if you can. Might be a little more challenging now that we're out of breath, but we'll do it 2 more times like that. Inhale. Out through the nose. Last one. Nice work. Release your hands. We're going to come back to our downward facing dog. Now before, when we were stepping towards the top of the mat, we were working to take 1 foot at a time and land the heel first, outside the hand, and then soften the foot down. So we're going to work to do that now, but with both feet at the same time. So it'll be a gentle hop towards the top of the mat. The idea of trying to land the heels first rather than the toes, it just gives your mind something to focus on once your feet lift to keep you active and keep you in the game. Take your feet about hip width distance apart. Push to lift the hips up and back. Take an inhale. Open the mouth. Let it out. Then look forward, press into the base of the thumbs. Inhale, lift the heels and bend your knees. On the exhale, hop, landing heels first, outside the hands. Nice one. Sit deep into your squat, bring the palms together at heart, take a breath in. Exhale, come all the way up to stand. Inhale, reach your arms forwards and up. Exhale, palms come back together at heart. So we're adding in that extra, just palms together at heart there, because it is a little bit more active, and we want to take a moment to find the breath between each round. So if you need to shuffle the feet in a touch to make yourself feel a little more stable, absolutely. Draw the navel in. Take a breath. Open the mouth. Nice. Inhale, arms reach forwards and up. Exhale, sit deep into your squat. Then inhale, find a halfway lift, straighten the legs, ground the palms in front of you. From here, we're going to come straight back into downward facing dog. So lean into the hands, bend the elbows. If you can, hover the feet up off the mat. Take your legs back, then push through the arms to bring yourself back to downward facing dog. Nice one. And that whole little sequence, we're going to run through 4 more times. So our intention is to try and float to the top of the mat and float back to down dog. Anything else that happens, it's all good, as long as you're breathing along the way. Inhale. Let it out. And look forward. Float to the top of the mat. Heels land outside the hands. Come to your squat. Inhale. Exhale, press up to stand. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, find your center, palms together. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, we're back in our squat. Keep the knees moving away from each other. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands ground, legs are straight. Now remember before, we lifted 1 leg at a time, trying to press through the hands and hover the foot. That's what we're working on here, just both legs at the same time and a bend in the elbow. So lean forward, pull the navel in, hover the feet. Push through the hands, come back to downward facing dog. We've got 3 more. 1 breath. Exhale, let it go. Look forward, make your way to the top. Inhale, squat. Exhale, come to stand. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, palms at heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squat low. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float to down dog. Push through the hands. 2 more rounds, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. If you have the float this time, find a little bit of hang time in that inverted malasana shape. Then gently landing heels. Inhale, squat. Exhale, come to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, find center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, squat low. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we meet back in down dog. Float. Push through the arms. Last round. Take a breath here. Open the mouth. You got it, your journey. Inhale, squat. Exhale, come to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, find center. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, deep into that squat. Then last time, take the halfway lift. Lean forward, bend the elbows, hover the feet. Push back into your downward facing dog. Lower the knees down towards the mat. Sit the hips back towards the heels. So very upper body dominant in today's practice. Set your left hand on top of your left thigh. Tuck the tail under, pull the belly in. From here, we're just going to create big circles with the right arm. So as you reach the arm out in front of you, let the palm face towards the left side wall. But once the arm reaches up and overhead, find external rotation, so your palm will start to face out. And you circle the arm back behind you. And look at that, magically, it's back to where it started. So just going to create some bigger circles here with the right arm. Just finding some natural range of motion through the shoulder joint. Just going for around 10. Starting to slow down the breathing. And once you've finished your 10, right hand on top of the right thigh. We find the same on the left side. So as you reach the arm forward, palm will face towards the right, and you externally rotate. Let the palm face out to finish off your circle. For 5. Exaggerate the movement if you can for 6. For 7. For 8. I'd be happy to know that's all the work done on the arms and shoulders for 9. And 10. Nice work. I'm going to come on down to the back, just like we began our practice. So once you come on down, wrap the hands around the ankles, set the feet underneath the knees. So setting up for the bridge pose, just like we did it at the beginning, a little different this time. We're going to press down through the left foot, take the right ankle, cross it onto the left thigh. Keep that right foot flexed if you can. Move the right knee away from you, using the muscles in the right leg. Then hug the elbows in towards the body. Drive through the elbows and the left foot. Take a breath in. Exhale, press to lift the hips up nice and high. Naturally, that right hip's going to drop quite a lot lower than the left. So we need to work a little harder to lift the right hip just as high as the left. So we're off balance here. We need the glutes to be firm to help counter. Inner left thigh hugging towards the midline. Elbows really working, especially that right elbow to lift the hips the same height. Take one last breath. On the exhale, guide your hips down towards the earth. Now keep the back of your head on the ground. Reach your right arm between your legs. Then hug that left knee in towards the chest. Wrap your hands around the back of your left hamstring. Both feet are going to flex here. Bend the elbows, squeeze that left leg in towards you a little more. And if your right elbow is pressing on the inside of the right thigh, push that right leg away from you as you hug the left knee in a little bit more. So feel free to stay right here. If you have more space, you can always straighten your left leg. It just gives you a little more active lengthening through the back of that left leg here. But really working to keep the head grounded if we can. Take an inhale. Stay for the breath out. And rebend that left knee. Release the left leg as you ground the left foot down. and point the right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Push through the elbows and left foot, lift the hips straight back up. Now the right leg is going to stay straight, foot flexed. We're going to take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to lower the right heel towards the floor, extending the leg all the way out in front of us. Inhale, we lift it back up. Exhale, lower heel to floor. Inhale, we lift for 3. Exhale, we lower. Just going 2 more. Left leg is burning. Inhale, lift that right leg. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale, rise, 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 rise. Press through the hips. Exhale to lower all the way down. Once we do, we're going to cross the right leg all the way over the left and start to let both knees fall off to the left-hand side. Spreading the arms out wide, allowing your gaze to turn towards your right arm. So when we come into these supine twists, if we are in a state of spinal flexion, meaning knees drawing in towards the chest, then it gives you a deeper twisting or deeper opening through the thoracic portion of your spine. So the upper portion of your spine is a little more challenging to find mobility. It's easy to cheat your way into a deeper twist when you're in spinal extension. So if we keep bringing the knees to chest and find a little more flexion, we eliminate the arching in the low back and you're able to find a little more space across the thoracic. So working to keep both shoulder blades grounded here on the mat is also going to help you give more space. Take one last breath. Stay for that breath out. You unravel your legs first. We're going to come back to square. And we'll do it all again on the opposite side. So reset your elbows alongside the body. Reset your feet. Right foot's going to stay this time. Left ankle will cross over the right thigh. Allow the left knee to move away from you using the muscles in the left leg. And then drive through the elbows in the right foot. Take an inhale. Exhale, press to lift the hips. Remember, working a little harder to lift the left hip just as high as the right. Push through that left elbow a little more. Keep those glutes nice and firm. Feel that external rotation through your left hip. See if you can keep that left foot flexing, hugging those elbows in. We're here just for 3, 4, 2, on 1. Last breath in. Exhale, slowly lower your hips down. And keeping the head grounded, left arm will reach between the legs. You hug the right knee into chest. Wrap your hands around the back of your right hamstring. Flexing both feet, bend the elbows, draw that right knee towards you. If it's there in this space, you can use your left elbow on the inside of your left thigh to move that left knee away from you. So nice deep release, not only through the inner left hip, but also on the outer left thigh and into the glute as well. Keeping both feet flexing will just give you some sensation all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. If you did on the previous side, feel free to straighten that right leg. It'll give you more flexion through the spine and more length through the right leg as well. Take one last inhale. Exhale, we rebend the right knee, ground the right foot down, release the leg. And point the left leg straight up towards the sky. Push through the elbows in the right foot. Lift the hips all the way up. On the inhale, we lift the hips. And on the exhale, we lower the left heel to the floor. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower down. One last little leg burner to finish off. Inhale, lift that leg. Exhale, we lower it. 2 more, inhale to rise. Exhale, lower down. Last one, inhale, lift, 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 lift. Exhale, lower, 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 lower. Cross that left leg all the way over the right. And this time you allow your hips to fall off to the right-hand side. Spread those arms out nice and wide. Turn your gaze towards your left hand. Remember, like we focused on last time, bringing knees up towards the chest a little more will give you deeper flexion through your spine and allow you to find more opening through the thoracic. And really working to keep your left shoulder blade grounded onto the earth as you turn your gaze off towards the left hand. Take one last inhale. Stay for the breath out. As you unravel your legs, we come back to center. Awesome work today, my friends. I'm going to finish off just by hugging knees in towards the chest without using our hands. So bring the knees in towards you, interlace your hands, take them to the back of your head. Let the elbows draw to the outside of the knees, let the knees draw to the forehead. So finding active flexion through your spine. Take a deep inhale. On the exhale for today, soles of feet will come together. We'll finish in Supta Baddha Konasana. The knees fall out wide. The back of the head rest against the earth, the shoulder blades towards each other. The fingers start to naturally curl in, and let your breath begin to slow down. So we've woken up the entire body from fingers to toes and everywhere in between. If you have space to rest, stay here as long as you need. But if it's time to get up and to start moving, as always, I want to thank you so much for practicing. Consider liking this video and subscribing if you love free yoga content. If there's anything I can do for you, please leave a comment below. Have the best day, and I'll see you again soon. As always, peace.